I'm a certified yapper, and that was a 7-minute video. Electric fan. This used to be zip tied, but I had to remove the fan so it's not zip tied. I need to figure out how to secure it. I'm probably going to use the slider there, but into an AutoZone 40 amp, well 20 amp I think, waterproof connector. It just hangs, but it doesn't really it doesn't do that, so it's fine for right now. Not great, but fine for right now. Up the firewall, not the firewall, but the fender. You ground the fan directly. You ground the fan directly to the body, and then the blue wire goes up to the relay. The blue wire is power wire. Red to the fan. Red is hot to the relay. Black is ground to the temperature sensor, which goes directly where your bleed port. It doesn't say bleed port on the new ones, but on the older 3.7s and 4.7s, it says bleed port. There's extra metal here, but it's a bleed port. That's what Chrysler calls it, at least. It's the highest point in your system, except for these hoses, but it can help bleeding sometimes if you got a real trap bubble. And then white is fuse ignition power. It's not perfect, but I trimmed my housing, and then I have it tapped there. It draws like 1/4 of an amp. It's just like a sensor pretty much. It doesn't actually suck power, so that should be fine. Get into the heated seats, and then, well, this is all my aftermarket OEM plus wiring, but that's really all there is to it. And you have to get it to fuse ignition power, because if you don't, it'll run all the time, and you don't want that. It'll kill your battery. But I've got my 3-row aluminum radiator and the electric fan. So if I turn my ignition on, it's up to temp. With the aluminum fan, there's a tab that rattles in. It wouldn't hurt to like wrap it in electrical tape before you drop it in, the tab, but my truck's up to temp, so it's on. It works fine. I've never had it not work. The only issue is I don't have it grounded to the trinary switch, so it will just not work, like just not turn on, I guess, when the AC is on. So don't use AC until it's up to temp. But if I start it, it's the coldest this thing's AC's ever been, especially at idle, because it's the same amount of air all the time. And on the highway, if I'm flat out, it's kind of the temp goes up a little bit. I'm running only water, and my overflow does not have a good suction because of the aluminum radiator. So I need to replace my overflow hose and switch to actual coolant, and I should be fine. But with it running, you can feel the heat going through, and really one of the main reasons I did it was working on this truck sucks. Like doing anything sucks, because the fan shroud is big. It's fucking this big. So with that is a loud dryer. With the AC, or with the fan clutch going, you just take your tensioner off, and your water pump just comes off. You don't gotta fuck with nothing. Your oil filter, literally, I changed it yesterday, so I'm not changing it. You reach down, grab the sucker, and rip it out, and that's all there is to it. I mean, if you need to service anything on this truck, you don't have to remove the damn fan clutch, and it makes it so much easier to work on. But what's next for me is new upper and lower hoses, and then other little stuff, securing that. But it sucks. You can feel it suck through the radiator and everything. And if you have, this is out of a 08 V8. I've got 32s, so I'm gonna do I'm gonna switch my power steering lines out, but I've got that set up. So like if you've got that, it'll cool it even more all of the time. And I have my trans cooler. I need to redo my trans cooler. It's kind of a crappy one, but I have it down there, and even it will get a good amount of air coming through. But if I had to redo that, I would add an extra fan. If I end up not doing this, I'm gonna replace it with a pusher motor, and I might like use spacers on this and shim it out a lot. But a pusher fan to give even better AC, grounded to the trinary switch. This switch works. Oh, that broke. This switch works by grounding out, and it's a trinary switch because it's got three different grounds, I guess. So there's a way to hook up to this sorry, I was checking that out, to turn your fan on when the AC's on. I'm not worried about it coming out, really. I'm sure I can get a new pigtail one day, but you want to figure that out for your AC. But if you're not bothered by it like I am, I mean, the truck gets up to temp so quickly that by the time you're driving, it's up to temp and your AC's on. But if you're bothered by that, I would fix that. I would ground it with that. But my ground being this works fine. Like if I go in here and I turn the key on, you can see how it works. To simplify it, this is an open circuit, and when this is an open circuit naturally, when it gets up to a certain temperature, it's a closed circuit, and you hear it closes the circuit and allows the fan to turn on. This fan that's included is a pretty high CFM 16-inch fan. It's 2050, I think. So 2050 is about normal for these electric fans, or it's like 2350 something. If you really need more air, they sell like 4000 CFM ones, like the Ford Taurus, if you wanted to adapt it. But this one comes with a shroud, so it works for me, you know. But that's how it works. It just grounds out. But it works good for me. If you have any questions, ask me. If this is too long, I'll